My name is Ron Whitson. Welcome to today's webinar on AssetWise Performance Management and the integration to IBM Maximo. AssetWise Performance Management, or APM, provides organizations many different functions as illustrated on the slide. 5 important functions are represented in the sections of the wheel. The box to the left of the wheel shows various sources of asset information. Our users find value in being able to consolidate this information from various sources and viewing it in a single place. The box to the right shows the different enterprise asset management, or EAM systems, AssetWise may be integrated to, including IBM Maximo, which we will be demonstrating today. Finally, the box along the bottom shows potential sources of information that may be incorporated into AssetWise. The 5 sections of the wheel detail functional areas of AssetWise. Strategy development is where users document their reliability strategies, whether they are FMEAs or RCM2s or others. Reliability program implementation is about setting up which data points are monitored to detect when assets may be trending towards a failure. Performance management is where users monitor these alarm conditions and use key performance indicators, or KPIs, to track metrics for the business. Work management is where the work is performed and documented. For many of our users, this work is performed using an existing EAM system that AssetWise is integrated to. Analysis and optimization allows our users to constantly improve their reliability strategies by testing that they've chosen the most cost and time-effective options. As I mentioned earlier, today's presentation is focused on the work management section highlighted in green. I will be showing how AssetWise is integrated to IBM Maximo. Today's presentation is based on AssetWise Performance Management 7.4 and IBM Maximo 7.6. Here's a simple approach to the data that is integrated between AssetWise and Maximo. All asset information is owned by Maximo. The assets and asset hierarchy are brought over into AssetWise, and as updates are made in Maximo, those updates are sent to AssetWise. Asset prioritization analyses may be performed in AssetWise, and the result of those analyses sent back to Maximo, updating the asset priority number. Tasks in AssetWise are synchronized to job plans in Maximo. Tasks may actually be created in AssetWise and then sent to Maximo. So the question is, if I have Maximo, why would I create a job plan in another system? That's a question we get a lot, and the answer goes back to the process of developing a reliability strategy. As the strategy is developed and failure modes are defined, a best practice is to document the corrective task. In AssetWise, you may either link to the job plan in Maximo or create the corrective task from scratch. One of the most important integration points is work orders created in AssetWise that are sent to Maximo. AssetWise users track asset performance information to know when an asset is trending towards failure. The information collected triggers an alarm in AssetWise, and a work order is created in acknowledgement of this alarm. I'll demonstrate this in just a bit. As the status of the work order changes in Maximo, that status update is fed back to AssetWise. Let's go see this in action. Let's take a look at some of the information in Maximo that we'll be working with today. First off is the asset that we'll be generating a work order for. So we can see our asset record. Next up is the job plan we'll be using. And we can see the labor requirements. And the parts needed. I'm now looking at the indicator panel in AssetWise. On the left is your location and asset hierarchy, which is imported from Maximo and automatically updated through a standard integration when changes are made in Maximo. On the right of the indicator panel are the condition monitoring points, or indicators, being tracked for the asset highlighted in the hierarchy, in this case the pump. The data for these indicators may come from a variety of sources. Some are automated, polling a DCS, data historian, or online data source. Other data may be entered manually, typically using a handheld device. AssetWise compares the collected data to your established thresholds or states, identifying potential failures with automated alarms and recommending corrective actions. Let's manually enter a reading for one of the indicators, the flow reading. This information could come from a data historian or a PLC. The source of the data doesn't matter to AssetWise. The reading could also be collected on a handheld device or tablet by an inspector in the field. As soon as the reading is entered, it is analyzed, and if outside the normal range, an alarm is displayed. The indicator panel displays alarms of varying severity, providing a proactive view of the health of your assets. More severe alarms may be pushed up the hierarchy for maximum visibility. In this case, we can see that the alarm for the flow reading is reflected all the way up to the highest level in the hierarchy. In some cases, a corrective task may have been associated with the alarm or failure mode and triggered automatically. In other instances, you may wish to review the alarm and recommend corrective action, and then determine the best way to proceed in order to prevent a full functional failure. AssetWise uses this detailed failure information to evaluate the effectiveness of your current reliability program and to identify areas for reliability improvement. Now let's look at what the alarm tells us and the options available to respond to the alarm. Let's select this alarm, which tells us a problem is developing on the pump, and let's acknowledge the alarm. There are a number of options for responding to the alarm. You may create a work order or work request. You may wish to continue monitoring the asset. You may indicate that the problem was fixed during inspection. This is also a checkbox on the handheld application. If it is checked there, the alarm is automatically acknowledged as fixed during the inspection when the reading is uploaded. You can also specify an incorrect reading or alarm. We can also view information on the Failure tab. Here you can see the failure mode that is indicated, the failure severity, the failure effect, and the P to F interval, indicating the amount of time before this partial failure progresses to a full functional failure. Let's acknowledge this alarm with a work order. You then have the option of adding this work to an existing work document or creating a new one from scratch based on a standard job or task. The standard task, Open and Inspect Pump Impeller, is suggested here as it was created during the reliability analysis of the cooling water system and is linked to this indicator in failure mode. Once identified in the reliability analysis, the standard task was automatically sent to Maximo and a job plan was created there to match. There are no planning details in AssetWise. That will be handled in Maximo. Here is the work order to open and inspect pump impeller that was created in AssetWise. Notice that the alarm acknowledgement details are captured in the task description. In Maximo, let's search for work orders for the pump. We find the work order that was created in AssetWise and sent over. Notice that the status for new work orders is set to waiting on approval. Notice that the job plan information was picked up and we had the labor to be planned and the parts to be requisitioned. Let's change the status of the work order and see that change updated back to AssetWise. In APM, I don't see work order 27 in the work management view because I'm looking at open task. Let's change this to all tasks. And now we see work order number 27 at the top. And if I open it up, I'll notice that the status has been updated to closed and that was information coming back from the integration to Maximo. AssetWise adds value to your enterprise asset management system by providing the reliability analysis and implementation of that analysis to ensure that the right work is triggered at the right time. The combination of AssetWise for the reliability program development and implementation and your enterprise asset management system for planning, scheduling, and resource management will improve your business performance by preventing equipment failure, increasing production, and lowering costs. The integration between AssetWise and Maximo is certified by IBM. And that concludes today's presentation. I certainly hope you found it to be useful. At this time, I'd like to thank you all very much for your time and attention. If you'd like to get more information on AssetWise Performance Management, please visit the Bentley Community site at communities.bentley.com. You'll find a link to the AssetWise APM product community, as well as links to other Bentley communities.